Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the present perfect continuous tense. We are going to learn the rules of how to construct a sentence in the present perfect continuous tense, and I'm going to explain to you the rules using very clear examples. At the end of the lesson, I'm also going to give you a tip to ensure that you use this tense correctly every single time. Now, let us begin. Rule number 1. Use this tense to affirm or talk about something that you started doing a while ago and you're still doing it. So if you want to talk about something that you started a few minutes ago, a few hours ago, a few days ago, and you're still doing it now, then use the present perfect continuous tense. Now, how do you apply this rule? Look at examples 1 on the right. Example A. I have been reading since 7 o'clock. I have been reading since 7 o'clock. In that sentence, I'm affirming the fact that since 7 o'clock, I have been reading. I'm talking about something that I started since 7 o'clock this morning, okay? And that is reading. And I'm still reading now, okay? I have been reading since 7 o'clock. So I'm not done yet. I began at 7 o'clock and I'm still reading, okay? Now, example 1b. The baby has been crying since you woke him up 2 hours ago. The baby has been crying since you woke him up 2 hours ago. Now, in this sentence, what is it that I'm confirming? What is it that I'm affirming? I'm affirming the fact that since the last 2 hours, the baby has been crying since you woke him up 2 hours ago. So 2 hours ago, you woke up the baby and the baby started crying and the baby is still crying, okay? So the baby has been crying since you woke him up 2 hours ago. Okay, he has been crying. You woke him up 2 hours ago, and right now it has been 6 hours. The baby is still crying. Okay, so the baby has been crying since you woke him up 2 hours ago. Now, in those two examples, I'm talking about something that started a while ago and is still going on, okay? In those two sentences, I'm talking about something that started some time back, a while ago, and it is still going on now. In the first sentence, it was reading, which I started at 7 o'clock. In the second example, it was the baby crying. The baby has been crying since somebody woke him up 2 hours ago. Okay? So remember to use the present perfect continuous tense when you want to talk about something that you started doing or someone else started doing a while ago and it is still going on. Now, rule number 2. To write a sentence in this tense, use the following formula. We have a formula that we use every single time when you want to write a sentence or when you want to construct a sentence in the present perfect continuous tense. And that is subject plus has or have plus been plus verb plus ing. Okay, so the subject, and the subject can be he, she, they, I, you, we, it. It can be the name of a person, okay? Can be a dog. It can be any noun, okay? Now, so that is the subject. And then has or have. The reason being, some subjects, remember we talk about subject-verb agreement. Some subjects, you have to combine them with has, and some subjects, you have to combine them with have. Okay? Now, then after that, you add been plus the verb, that is a verb in its original form. Okay? That is the verb in the first form, like for example, cook, eat, play, jump, speak, write. All those verbs are in the original form, in the first base form. We have not changed them to any other tense. They are all in their original base form, the first form, okay? Now, then you add ing. Let us look at some examples of how to apply that rule. Let us look at examples 2a. He has been complaining for the last 3 days. He has been complaining for the last 3 days. In that sentence, we have the subject, and the subject is he. The subject is the person who is doing the action, okay? He, okay? The subject is a noun, he. Then plus has plus been plus complain, that is the verb, plus ing. Okay, he has been complaining. Now, let's look at the second example, example 2b. The workers have been working on this project for a month. The workers have been working on this project for a month. Now, in that sentence, what is the subject? The subject is workers, and that is plural. Now, so we have workers, not one, but many, and therefore we use have. The workers have. If it was the worker one, then it would be the worker has. But because it's plural, it's many, then we are using have. The workers have. So we have workers, which is a subject, plus have, plus been, plus verb, and the verb is work, and we have added ing at the end of the verb, and it becomes working. Okay? We have the subject, which is workers, so plural, that is many. Plural means many. So we have to use have. So workers is the subject, plus have, plus been, plus work, plus ing. The workers have been working on this project for a month. Now, in both examples, we are talking about something that started a while ago and it is still going on. In example 2a is complaining. So, since the last 3 days, he has been complaining. He has not stopped yet. He is still complaining even now. He has been complaining for the last 3 days. In example 2b, what we are talking about is the project that the workers have been working on for the last month. Okay, so they started working on that project a month ago and they are still doing it now. The workers have been working on this project for a month. Okay, now let's move on to rule number 3. To write a negative sentence in this tense, use this formula: subject plus has or have plus not plus been plus verb plus ing. Once more, the subject plus has or have, depending on which subject you use, plus not plus been plus verb, and then you add ing at the end of the verb. Remember, the verb has to be in its original form, in its base form, before we change it. For example, I said cook, speak, eat. All those verbs are in their original base form. Now, let us look at some examples of how to apply that rule. Example 3a. You have not been sleeping well. You have not been sleeping well. Now, in that sentence, we have you, which is a subject, plus have, plus not, plus been, plus sleep, plus ing at the end of sleep. You have not been sleeping well. Now, in that sentence, we used have and not has because of subject-verb agreement. Okay? Some pronouns are he, she, they, I, you, we, it. Some of them you combine them with has, and some of them you combine them with have. Now, before we continue, I would like you to have a look at the last tip. I have written tip at the bottom of the board. Subject-verb agreement. I have written for you there all the different pronouns, that is, different subjects, and whether you combine them with has or with have. Okay? He has. She has. We never say he have or she have. No. He has. Always. She has. They have. I have. You have. We have. It has. Okay? And when you're talking about a noun, that is a noun in the plural form or in the singular form, then that also affects whether you use have or has. Now, when it is singular, we use has. Singular means one. The dog has. The dog has. If we make the dog plural and we say the dogs, then it becomes the dogs have, because that is plural. That is many. The dogs have. And then Mary and Peter, those are many people. They are two people, so we have to use have. Mary and Peter have. And then we have the letters. It is not one letter, but many. So we also have to use have. But if it was just one letter, then we would use has. And then we have the boy is one, so we use has. The rain has. The parents have because it's many. The workers have because it's many, okay? So I would encourage you to have a very good look at the subject-verb agreement. Ensure that you memorize and master that tip, because once you master it, then you will never have a problem with subject-verb agreement, okay? So now that we know that, let's go back to our rule. That was rule number 3. And we were looking at the examples. And example 3a is you have not been sleeping well. So it is you have. Okay. Now, if we are to apply rule number 1, because rule number 1 was you use this tense when you want to talk about something that started a while ago, but it is still going on. In that example 3a, what is it that we are talking about that started a while ago and is still going on? It is the fact that you have not been sleeping well, okay? So you have not been sleeping well in the last months and you are still not sleeping well now. Let's look at example 3b. The parents have not been paying his school fees since he joined this school. The parents have not been paying his school fees since he joined this school. Now, in that sentence, we have parents, which is the subject, and it is many, so we use have plus not plus been plus pay plus ing. Okay, we add ing at the end of the verb pay. Okay, now what is it that we are talking about that started a long time ago and is still going on? It is the fact that his parents have not been paying school fees, okay? Since he joined this school, his parents have not paid any school fees. And as we are talking right now, they still have not paid any school fees, okay? Now, let's move on to rule number 4. To write a question in this tense, so if you want to construct a question, if you want to formulate a question in this tense, then use the formula has or have plus subject plus been plus verb plus ing. And how do you apply that rule? Let us look at example 4a. Has she been bullying you again? Has she been bullying you again? Now, in that question, we have has plus she. We have chosen has and not have, because remember the tip on the subject-verb agreement. We always combine she with has. So you have has plus she plus been, okay, plus the verb, which is bully, plus ing. It becomes bullying, okay? Has she been bullying you again? Now, example 4b. Have Mary and Peter been paying their bills on time? Have Mary and Peter been paying their bills on time? So in that question, we have also used have. And do you know the reason why? Why have we not used has? The reason is because we are talking about two people, that is plural, Mary and Peter. So we have to use have. because it's many people. We use have for plural and we use has for singular. Okay, for one person. Have Mary and Peter been paying their bills on time? If it was just Mary, then we would say, has Mary been paying her bills on time? Okay, has Mary been paying her bills on time? Let's look at example 4C. Has he been waiting for you all day? Has he been waiting for you all day? Now, in that sentence, we have has plus he plus been plus wait plus ing. So we add ing at the end of wait. Okay, and it becomes has he been waiting. We can never say for example, have he been waiting. No, we cannot say have he. This is a permanent rule. The subject-verb agreement in English is permanent. It does not change. It must always be combined with has. She must be combined with has. They must be combined with have. I must be combined with have. You must be combined with have. We must be combined with have. And it must be combined with has. And when it is singular, when you're speaking about one thing like the dog, then you use has. When you're speaking about many things like parents, not parent, then you use have. That is the rule, and it is a permanent rule for subject-verb agreement in English. Okay? Now, this brings me to the end of this lesson. I hope you now know what the present perfect continuous tense is. Remember, we use this tense when you want to confirm or affirm or talk about something that you started or someone started doing a while ago and they are still doing it. And then remember the rules when you want to write a sentence in this tense. That is subject plus has or have plus been plus the verb in its original form plus ing. And when you want to write a negative sentence, remember the rule. It is the subject plus has or have plus not plus been plus the verb in its original form plus ing. And when you want to write a question or ask a question in this tense, remember the construction, the formula is has or have plus subject plus been plus verb in its original form plus ing. And finally, remember the rules about the subject-verb agreement. That is really important. Ensure that you learn that subject-verb agreement. Ensure that you understand it very well. And I have simplified it by writing it here for you. All you have to do is learn it and memorize it. Okay? Now, I hope you found this lesson useful. I hope you have learned something new. And if you have, now show me that you're thankful, okay, by giving me a thumbs up. If you have already subscribed to the channel, okay, give me a thumbs up to say thank you. Share this video to say thank you. And if you have not subscribed, now subscribe to the channel. That will make me really happy and encourage me to continue uploading more videos that will help you to continue improving your level of English. And remember, if you're new to this channel, I have playlists on grammar, I have playlists on vocabulary. I also have playlists on IELTS if you're planning to sit for your IELTS exams, for example. I also have a playlist on literature if that's what you're interested in. But I also have a playlist on how to use English in different situations. Like, for example, to talk to the doctor, to talk to the dentist, to talk to the hairdresser, okay? to talk to a shop assistant when you go shopping. So feel free to have a look at all my playlists, and I'm sure you'll find a video that is going to be useful for you. Now, thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.